My name's Ari Glasser.
Who are you?
I am a outgoing member of the Fall 2025 Neighborhood Media Internship Program.
You go to school?
I go to Essex High School. I'm a senior.
Okay. So, how did you learn about the neighborhood media internship?
I think I first saw it somewhere on social media, and it just caught my eye as something interesting to do.
Okay. How did you enjoy the neighborhood media internship?
I liked it a lot. I think there was a good diversity of experiences from, filming different parts of the city, discussing the Vermont International Film Festival, and interviewing Burlingtonians about the issues going on.
You got a favorite interview or a favorite interviewee?
I think my favorite video we made is the most recent one where we talked to people on Church Street and around City Hall about the ICE shooting of Renee Good and the immigration situation that's going on in our country. And the people had really strong opinions about it. And at the end, we saw the protest starting against ICE at City Hall. And I think it's just really interesting how connected a lot of people are to national politics.
Did you feel like you had an impact overall here or in any of your work?
Yeah, I hope I did. I mean, there's a lot of new videos out on the archive on the YouTube channel about that maybe they'll be used in the future when people look back on 2025 and 2026 and what was going on in Burlington. What did the benches look like? What films were they playing? What did people think about the Burlington economy or the federal immigration enforcement? Those kinds of things.
What will you take with you once you leave out of here? What's the most important thing that you learned here and that you're going to take forward into in the future?
I think the most important thing I learned and what I'll take with me is that there's just so many diverse views and perspectives, even in a small city like Burlington. The people we interviewed were from like college students age to like retired people. They had all kinds of different views. Many of them had perspectives that I agreed with. Many had perspectives I totally don't agree with. But I learned that, when you're interviewing someone, when you're acting as a journalist, you have to just approach it with an unbiased perspective, because your job is to see what people think, not to say what you think. And yeah, I think that was really interesting, and that I'll take forward just the amount of diverse perspectives on all kinds of issues that we have in our city and in our state and in our country.
What would you tell someone who is perhaps interested in the neighborhood media internship, who's interested, and what would you tell them about it? Would you give them any warnings? Would you give them any advice?
I would say definitely look into it, because there's a lot of different kinds of videos you can do. You get to choose what you do. They're not assigning you things to do. If there's a particular issue that's of interest to you in Burlington or in Vermont, you can decide, hey, I want to make a video over this, a video about this. And you can go out and interview people. You can go film things around the city. You can edit your video. You can really do anything. And even if you don't have any ideas on what you want to do, but you just want to engage with the community and with the city more, you should still sign up, because you'll think of something. A lot of weeks we came in and we didn't come in with an idea of what to do that day, but then we walked away that day and we had a great video of an interesting perspectives of people around Burlington that will be a valuable resource for the archives and for the future. So I think, yeah, whether you have a concrete plan or whether you have no plan at all, you should definitely sign up and just see where it'll take you.
And do yourself plan to come back perhaps next semester?
Yeah, I do plan to continue the neighborhood media internship in the spring semester.
Do you have any thoughts?
I think that's all, and thank you for watching. And what is your name?
My name is Josiah Oak.
How did you hear about the internship program?
I heard about it from my BTC teacher around like a year ago, and he came up to me with a proposal for free money, and I was like, "That's great. What should I do?" And he was like, "You should work at this neighborhood media internship. It's run by this guy named Travis. You should really get to know him. I think you'll be able to make some good stuff there." And I have been here for around a full year since, 3 semesters later.
So this is your 3rd semester in the program.
Yes, it is.
And what have you learned the most from this semester, the fall 2025 semester?
This semester specifically, I think I really was able to hone in on my skills in terms of actually approaching people. Because that's one of the scariest parts of doing this job, right? Is going up to people, finding them on the street, and having the confidence to go up to them and, like, kind of, like, you know, badger them about making a question. You know, I feel like it's pretty, you know, most of us kind of keep to ourselves in society, so it's, you know, it's a little bit out there to go, you know, to go up to people, do it. And I did it before, but I always had this like fear about it. But now I'm like, I feel more confident in doing it, especially with our most recent video. I think that went really, really well, and I'm really proud of the progress I made there. I'm also proud of the progress I made in terms of content. I feel like we're making a lot of we're tackling a lot of serious issues this year, obviously due to the world, right? But also, I think it's very important, the things that we're talking about, and I don't know, it just feels special. It feels like we're having an impact. I feel like I've had the most impact this year so far, and it's also something I'm probably the most proud of.
And of those serious issues and interviews that you did, what do you think was the most important or your favorite?
Oh, the most recent one, the ice one. That one was the first time, and obviously, I mean, you know, I've done this for a decent amount of time, and I felt this before, but this is like the most that I felt like a real active journalist, right? Covering something on the scene, having a really big impact, really working really hard to think about what we were saying and how we were presenting it, and taking all into account the things that we learned, especially a lot of the things that we talked about in the podcast. I remembered a lot, and I tried to apply those, and you know, it just. It felt really nice, you know, being able to do something about this horrible action, and be able to talk to people about it, and be able to have a sort of, not a massive impact, but you know, having some sort of impact on the community, especially a community that you know, that I relate to a lot, especially being someone of color, and specifically being Hispanic, and seeing all of my fellow brothers and sisters being like, you know, going through these issues, and seeing a lot of these people in this community fight for me, and seeing how I could have an impact in that community as well, and what I could do for that community and for my community, I think was really important, and I'm so proud of that video. And we got to and then we got to be there for the whole protest, and they were like, and then we saw the chants and everything, and it was just awesome. It was beautiful.
And going forward, what is the most important issue for you, or do you see will be the most important issue for Burlington in the future?
Ooh, good question. I think, well, obviously besides like broader issues like the government and climate change, I think for Burlington specifically a big issue will probably be something along the lines of control, right? Ice control is coming in here. We've already talked about that a lot in our video, and they're already starting to make moves. It's getting more concerning living here. I think that's going to be more concerning, especially in the coming months and years, unless something is done in the administration, but, you know, you never know. Besides that, potentially problems with the structure of the city, I guess, you know, just getting things done, buildings, infrastructure, tourism, right? Focusing on actually having a stable economy, at least somewhat for the city. I feel crime, as we discussed in our one video, I don't think is even the biggest issue that we have going on right now. Although I feel like perception of it might be a little bit, you know, changing soon. And hopefully, I mean, I know we had that one issue at some point, but I hope this doesn't become an issue, but, you know, racism is a thing here, and it manifested a lot in that moment when I think there was a couple Palestinian students shot in Burlington. I don't know if you remember that, and that was a very, very, you know, it was a terrible situation, and I hope more things like that don't happen, especially with ongoing current events. I hope that stuff remains on lock, but you never know, and yeah.
Now, on a brighter note...
sorry, that was dour as fuck.
What do you... Going forward, what do you say to people considering participating in the neighborhood media internship program? And do you yourself plan to participate again?
Oh yeah, I'll participate as much as I possibly can. I love this place. This place is great. It's had great experience. Love the people I've met here. I love Travis, obviously, wonderful, and it's all been just a wonderful experience and just really, really nice. What I would tell other people who would want to join here is probably something on the lines of just expression, right? Not being afraid, courage, right? Not being afraid to do what you want to do, say what you want to say, film it the way you want to film it. Not being afraid to be who you are and how you want to be. And by doing that, I feel like you're not only going to have a great time here, but you're also going to be making some really, really good content that you're going to look back on, and you're going to feel really proud of what you've done. And you'll take a lot of experience with you. And that, plus a stipend, is not bad. So there you go.
And do you have any other thoughts for us?
Any other thoughts? I don't have many thoughts. Besides, yeah, this is really great. I hope to do it again soon. And yeah, thank you very much. My back.
I'm Ari, and I'm here on the intersection of North Winooski Avenue and Archibald Street in Burlington's Old North End. And being around all these crosswalks, all these cars going by, makes you think of pedestrian safety. We have a bike lane over here, and just on Tuesday night, a couple days ago, there was a pedestrian killed on Shelburne Road, not too far from here in Burlington. And although Vermont is one of the safest states for pedestrian safety, there are still 6 deaths each year and 1 cyclist death. So we're just discussing today how we can maybe improve pedestrian safety in the city of Burlington, Chittenden County, and in Vermont as a whole. And one big thing is rectangular rapid flashing beacons, which are placed just below the crosswalk signs that can be shown to reduce the risk of pedestrian crashes by 47%. So we'll be talking to maybe some Burlington residents to see what they think about pedestrian safety here.
So I'm a college student in Burlington, and I ride my bike up here at North End for, just to go on my internship. And I don't know, I find it like sometimes I get nervous, like biking back and forth. I feel like there's a lot of preparation you have to put in before you can really bike, especially this time of year. I mean, I look at the ground, it's freezing out here. And, you need lighting, you need a certain amount of, blinkers for your bike. I don't know, and it can just kind of be intimidating. One certain thing is, you bike with the grain, so a car will come this way and you'll also be biking this way. So you can't really look behind you to see what's coming. And, I think that's kind of cause for concern, at least for me. I don't know. Might be more comfortable for some people, but it's a little. Walking around Burlington? I know there are a few bad intersections. Especially, I think there's, I don't know if anyone's been to Main Street and South Willard intersection. People run those lights, all the time. And I think a lot more, division of traffic. So it's not just one, really congested intersection, but, a bunch of smaller intersections would help make sure that I don't know, people are safer and don't run the light as much, and also just sometimes the walk signal is not actually true. There'll be I know by maybe Cherry Street, I don't know, by City Market, there's just one intersection and it'll be a walk signal, but the car will actually have a left turn and they can left turn into you. And it's really strange. I saw it last night when I was going back. And I don't know, I think it's just important to have a certain level of just common sense when it comes to these things and just be thorough about it. But yeah, pretty much my thoughts.
So it seems like here in Burlington, both pedestrian and cyclist safety are important. And a big theme seems to be that not all cars are necessarily obeying traffic signals, and maybe not all the traffic signals and crosswalk signals are synced up properly. So a big improvement that could be made in Burlington is increased traffic enforcement, maybe a lower speed limit, like I've seen a sign downtown near the Flynn with a 20 speed limit. And if we started enforcing those, again, adding those flashing beacons to crosswalks and encouraging drivers, those in the cars, to really be always aware of those cyclists, especially like Breyer mentioned, the cyclists are going the same direction as the cars. So it can be hard to spot, but it's important to always be aware of cyclists and always be on the lookout for crosswalks and pedestrians who may be crossing the street, so that we can avoid, even if it's not at a crosswalk, so that we can avoid tragedies such as the one that happened in Shelburne earlier this week. And this has been the Neighborhood Media Internship Program, and thank you for watching Town Meeting TV.
Hi, I'm Lily.
I'm Josiah.
We're both high school students, and today we are going to be interviewing locals on the school voucher policy in Vermont.
And what they think about it. All right, hi everybody. Today I am here interviewing
Waylon Homaker.
All right, Waylon. So a couple questions if you don't mind. Oh, hello, sir. You mind backing away real quick? That's just Church Street for you, I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, do you happen to know anything about the new school vouchers?
I do not.
Oh, well, actually, it turns out basically what they are is they are a free voucher from the state of Vermont. And what they do is they allow anybody, like someone who goes to BHS or whoever they go to, like CVU or CHS, something like that, they allow them to go to a different private school for, like, you know, for a discounted price. For example, like someone from here could go to Rice, or like someone from EHS could go to Rice, or any other private school they may want to go to. And so the thing is that kind of has ramifications on like a lot of, like, for example, like how public school gets funded, and like how Vermont really organizes their like school board. So we just want to know what you think about that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a little out of the loop of the school board stuff. I graduated last year, so I mean, I mean, if it's a net negative, it's a net negative, and if it's a net positive, it's a net positive. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. I can see where you. I mean, again, it's a very big issue that probably takes a lot of time to organize and whatnot, but. If I had to like maybe summarize it for you, essentially what it would do was if everyone had this voucher, for example, right, everyone could go to Rice whenever they want. Not only would that boost up Rice's sales, but they could also essentially like trickle down the amount of schools that people go to, right? Because imagine like they would start, you know, not funding BHS as much, which would decrease the quality of that school, and a lot more people wanted to move to Rice, and so you would get a lot less diversity of schools as well as a lot less schools in a lot less areas. You know what I mean? So for example, instead of having like 10 schools around the state or, you know, in different areas that a lot of people like from around that area go to that school, it would just be like 3 areas. So it'd be a lot harder for people to get to school, as well as a lot harder for, like, you know, people to like get different varieties in schools, you know, just try out different schools that maybe may fit more to their taste or may fit more to their style of learning. So like, I don't know, but it also has benefits also, you know what I mean? Like, for example, obviously you have a lot of these kids who can go to these schools and they can go and learn these things that they weren't able to learn before. So I mean, what do you think about that dynamic, or like that difference, that dichotomy?
Well, if we're thinking about the quality of education, I don't know if I would say that any of the private schools at the high school level in Vermont really are of a higher quality, especially knowing that a lot of them, and I know this might be contentious to say, are heavily based around religion, especially Rice. I have a lot of friends who transferred out of Rice for that reason. If the quality of education was actually better, I could see how that would be a net positive for some people. Mm-hmm. But if it's just going to end up kind of bottlenecking and ostracizing the overall quality and accessibility of school, then I don't see the need for it.
Yeah. Say. I respect that opinion, Waylon. Thank you for doing that, man.
Thank you.
We are here with the Town Meeting TV Neighborhood Media Internship, and we're in the Old North End, and crime has been a serious concern that people are discussing in Burlington for the past several years, particularly since COVID. And we are aware that there's been a lot of misinformation about crime. People probably aren't seeing very much crime, but everything everyone's reading about is all about the murders, the robbery, the theft, the assault going on throughout Burlington. So what we're going to do today is we're going to ask the citizens of Burlington themselves, where do they think the crime is happening? And we'll just see where that leads us.
So, how you doing? I'm Josiah Oka. Today I'm here with
Luke Beeson.
Luke Beeson. Oh my God, like the connection. Anyway, so we just wanted to get your, what do you think about crime? I mean, do you think crime is a problem in Burlington?
I mean, it's a problem everywhere. I mean, I'm a carpenter. I've had tools stolen. I've had my car broken into, but I don't know. I've lived in other cities, and like I've lived in Wilmington, Delaware, and crime's much worse there. I mean, comparatively, it's a very, very relaxed city in my mind.
And if you were to say, if there were crime, do you know where it would be? Or do you know if there's any area in particular here that you think is like crime-ridden,
I mean, people hang out in the parks, but crime's everywhere. I don't think it's really concentrated to like one neighborhood or anything. Not that I've seen. I mean, I lived on this block. I've lived toward the south end. I live further in the north end now, and it's all about the same.
So today we're going to be looking through the CCTV archives at the past mayors of Burlington. And the CCTV has archives dating back to the 80s when Senator Bernie Sanders, was the mayor of Burlington. Mm-hmm. So we'll be going back, starting from the current mayor, Emma Mulvaney Stanek.
Do you think we should mention our names?
Oh, yeah. I'm Ari Glasser.
I'm Josiah Oak.
Let's start.
And we're the teen team.
Let's start with...
I already looked up the thing. So let's see. So we're just gonna look over some part. I looked up mayoral debates because that is one thing that I am interested in looking at. Learning more about. The thing is that as an average citizen, I would consider myself pretty average amongst the people of Burlington. I don't know a lot about our mayor. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, working here, I've seen her couple times. I've talked to her even a couple times, and she's a very, very nice lady. She's got a nice family. She's very smart, and she probably knows what she's doing. But we don't actually know like what she stood for, how'd she get here, what she's done to do, what she's done to get to this position. There's so much about our mayor that we don't even know. And so, I mean, me personally, I'm really interested in learning about that. I mean, I don't know. What about you?
Yep. So we're just looking at. We just want to be seeing the perspectives of each mayor and maybe our impressions of them and how they actually did what they did to improve the city.
Yeah. Or if they did anything to improve the city.
Exactly.
Oh, net zero. Whoa. Net zero energy roadmap? Whoa. Dude, that's fire. Wait, I love that. What is she talking about here?
Started. Welcome everyone to the Spark Space here at Burlington.
God, I love concerning everything.
I'm Mayor Emma Mulvaney Stanek. I'm joined with some very special guests, which we'll introduce in just a moment. Climate is one of my top priorities in my first term as mayor. And with the broader climate work happening in the city, the Net Zero Energy Roadmap represents a significant and ambitious goal of eliminating fossil fuel use for heating, for building energy needs, and for ground transportation. We pursue that work, primarily through electrification, helping Burlington residents and businesses and nonprofit organizations. Electric vehicles. Hold on. Excuse me. This time of year there is always. Is this for me? Okay, it's not like. Okay.
See?
Delicious.
She's
tap
normal.
water from the city of Burlington.
No.
Yeah.
She could speak. I guarantee. I have a bet. Those two are probably her kids. I don't know why, but I feel like they're her kids. Also, we should probably zoom in on this.
Let me go back to where I was.
That's not possible.
We pursue this work primarily through electrification, helping Burlington residents and businesses and nonprofit organizations switch to heat pumps, geothermal, electric vehicles, electric buses, and so much more. Our community can take pride in the strong programs and incentives Burlington Electric maintains and grows to support customers and ratepayers to making these changes. Importantly, we do this work with an eye towards always affordability and equity, including BED offering enhanced incentives for low-income qualified customers and providing an energy assistance program to discount bills for income qualified customers. Today, we are sharing the latest data from 2024 about how we are doing on reducing emissions in our city. General Manager Darren Springer will run through the details of our 2024 results in a few moments. But I want to share that it is very helpful to have this data be current. As you may know, the state's emissions inventory was last updated in the year 2021. And of course, the state has a variety of complex data sources to pull from to create such an inventory, whereas we are tracking 2 key sectors of emissions in one city. But knowing how we are doing and being able to continue to adjust and innovate in the service of reaching our goals is truly essential. I am pleased to see that we continue to make progress in 2024 and continue to reduce greenhouse gas emissions relative to prior years. With so much chaos in the federal administration right now, and with efforts underway to freeze climate programs and grants, including our own EV charging grant for BED.
They are trying to do that.
Local leadership is more critical than ever on climate. My administration will continue to lead, and we know that climate action is just not mitigation work as represented in the Net Zero Energy Roadmap. We have great work underway in the city on resilience and also adaptation. And I'm looking forward to working with the newly convened Climate Advisors Group to examine the inventory of programs and work and actions already underway across the city. And we'll explore affordable ways to fill existing gaps as we continue to be a climate-forward city and community.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty baller.
Yeah, I think that's a great look into Mayor Mulvaney Stanak's priorities. Vermont is a state that is considered pretty safe from climate change often, but also we've seen how anywhere climate change has huge effects anywhere, with flooding especially being a huge problem the last 2 years in Vermont.
Across all the globe, even.
We've seen a bit of a drought this summer. Very low lake levels now.
Wild changes in temperature.
We've seen not as great snowfall, more melting snow in the winters.
Yes.
I think Burlington is actually, the city has warmed about 7 degrees on average during the winter since the 1970s. So it's really one of the fastest warming cities in the U.S.
Is that a fact?
It is a fact.
Oh, shit, for real?
Yep.
Am I allowed to say that? Okay, wait, no, but that's crazy, though.
It is.
That's
really
actually
concerning.
crazy. So
and
it
is great to see that our current mayor has a big priority on climate change, which is,
Yes, because I think it's an important debate, and I feel like it's something that it's very easy for politicians to skip over, because they're all talking about stuff that's like, which obviously is still important, talking about things that are current to our situation right now, and talking about, obviously the different changes in infrastructure and what we got to do about certain issues in our community, which is important to talk about. But I also feel like it is very much important to keep in mind that this climate thing is happening, and it is happening actively, and if we do not do anything about it, it is going to make lives either very difficult for us or not possible.
Yeah, climate change can seem like an issue that you just say, oh, we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
And then now it's 10 years later and it's getting worse.
And it's
there's less and less you can do about it.
Exactly.
So
we do as much as we can right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I do remember, actually, I saw a report. I was doom scrolling one night, as one does, and there was this report that I saw, which was said that humanity has missed the 1.5 C mark for climate, and obviously that's not great. Doesn't mean that we should stop. Obviously, doesn't mean that we can't, still strive to, get the minimal damage possible. I still think that's possible, but it is a sign showing that, obviously there is still so much more work that needs to be done. And if more mayors would, take a similar stance as to Mayor Stanek on this specific topic, then I do feel like we could make a valuable and impactful, change. Now, obviously, it comes to a lot, like she's talked about, the craziness happening in Washington. There is a lot more that needs to be done on a grander scale. And also
there's everything. There's everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. People are talking about crime. They're talking about immigration. These are the issues that people talk about every day. But all behind that, in the background, is what is going on with the climate.
Yes.
And it goes too slowly for us to notice sometimes until we do notice it.
Exactly.
And then it's too late. So
It
that's
is-
an issue that's always a current issue.
We do not wait to prevent climate change. We do it now. I positively. So honestly, I mean, we probably don't have time to finish the rest of this video, but I do agree with a lot of what she says, and I actually do really appreciate that what she's trying to do right now, and I wish a lot of people would continue that forward. All right.
Yeah, that was a great look at our current mayor, Emma Mulvaney Stanek, and now we're going to go back to the past, to 2012 through 2024 when Muriel Weinberger was the mayor.
Let's see what he did. What did he do? Huh? What did this guy do?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Actually, no, you got to look up his name on the search bar first.
I did. Yeah.
You did?
It's disappeared for some reason,
Oh,
but
never mind, my
we
bad.
have it.
I bet. I thought like we looked it up on the other one. All right, let's see what we got. Night Spotlight, Final Mornings. Housing might not be bad.
Yeah, let's find something.
Yeah, look up his name, but
before he was
when he was actually in office.
Yeah.
Something like preferably 2012 to 2024. That's a long time to be mayor too, bro. That's like
It is.
That's 12. Holy, bro, an entire child could have gone from kindergarten to like to senior year at that point, bro. Time really is an anomaly, isn't it, folks? But wait a minute, he was the mayor during COVID.
Ooh,
that could
at
be
his
interesting to
COVID
look
response.
at. Like, I mean, I don't know how many people would deal with that, but I mean, I would love to see what he did during that. Facebook update in response to COVID-19. Let's see what he has to say. Oh, he's in a room full of people. Okay.
Now this is from
March
18th.
Actually, wait, can we look up when did COVID
March
started?
18th. So this was right around
When
I
it started.
think when the lockdown happened.
Do you remember when it started for you?
Somewhere in the second or third week of March.
Yes, me too. I remember that they would like tell us, "Oh yeah, we're going home."
Went away for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, bet, hell yeah, we don't get to do anything."
Let's see.
Fast forward, we're so old.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday afternoon, and just wanted to give you another update on the work here at the Burlington Emergency Operations Center. Things slowed down a little bit today. This is our first day in this new posture of as many city employees as possible working from home. Seems like that went pretty smoothly. We haven't had a lot of reports of problems. We're also starting to work out the logistics of how in this new posture where we're trying to keep people from coming into the public buildings as little as possible, how we're going to have a city council meeting next Monday. We haven't worked out all the details on that yet, but we think through technology we're going to be able to find a way where both the councilors and participants who want to participate in the public forum can call in online, and there will be an in-person option as well. We think we're still working out the details. Stay tuned for that if that's something you're interested in. Because we have kind of gotten through that big push to get into this new phase, we have started really felt like today we started to turn our attention to the next phase of work. Here's a few examples of that. So this was the first day. The schools, of course, were also closed today, and there were meals distributed in many locations around the city, both by the schools team and then our own Parks Recreational Waterfront team had 6 locations set up in different housing sites, and from everything we've heard, a lot of meals got delivered, and that system seems to be, remarkably quickly up and really working. We were starting to run out of hand sanitizer for cleaning of various city, buildings and equipment that need to be used, and we found a good solution to that. There's a local distillery that has repurposed some of its alcohol into hand sanitizer, and so we've been able to restock that. There are other resupply issues that we're working through. Good news today from the federal government is a big push is going into creating a lot of new masks quickly, which if that gets going well, that will head off any future problem about that kind of equipment. The child care plan that was announced by the governor this morning, a bunch of people working on that. That could be an important part of the whole emergency response, is making sure that people who are needed for the public health response are able to have care of their children. That is a longer term project, and there's work happening on that still. We had a call today with a lot of Burlington businesses at 1 o'clock, many of whom are facing this sudden, really major economic change that is a problem for the business and is of course a problem for many of their employees who they are no longer able to pay. There have been layoffs. There could be more layoffs in the days ahead. The city is putting a major effort led by Luke McGowan at the Community Economic Development Office to figure out all of the assistance that is going to be marshaled to try to help the impacted businesses through and their employees, their workers through this, and there will be much more on this in the days to come. We did see that the U.S. Senate passed a big package today, so things are getting help is coming, and it's getting a lot clearer, and we'll be pushing out information on that as soon as we can.
Okay, I think we heard a decent amount. It doesn't seem like he was doing anything like outstandingly like this is a really. I mean, obviously he's helping during COVID, but I feel like this is obviously a very crazy situation.
Yeah, I mean, of course, in hindsight, we know much more than the mayor knew at the time.
Yeah, it was like yeah. So obviously there was like so much that he didn't know. So I feel like in the inherent situation that he was dealt, I don't think he was doing like that. You know what I mean? You know,
this seems like a good, obviously looking back, this was just the very start of lockdown, so they didn't really know that.
Yeah, they didn't know what was about to happen.
There was not going to be an in-person option for anything for like quite a few months. But yeah, I think it's a solid response to.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, just like a pretty like a reasonable, like decent, like, hey guys, this is a little, because I do notice this when he's talking. I don't know, I feel this a little bit more. Obviously, I'll just do the situation, but I feel like he's way more like, not like, I don't know, like not more chill, but he just like a more relaxed energy. You know what I mean? Like this feels like, like when he's saying these things, it doesn't feel like a mayor saying it. It feels like a guy's telling me this stuff. You know what I mean? Like when he's telling me this, and I feel like that kind of, I don't know if that says anything on his mayoral, abilities, but I do think. I don't know. I feel like in this given situation, just feels like he's doing the best that he can, but he's not doing anything that's like making me like being like, oh, this is amazing. Like this was amazing support during COVID. It's mostly just, hey, we're gonna do.
Yeah, admittedly, this COVID-19 update is probably not the best representation of his policies or anything like that.
We did look at an emergency situation.
But, yeah, but it's it's a good representation, I think, of how he was. He seemed like a
chill guy.
Relatively calm and collected and capable mayor.
Yeah.
Even if not everyone agreed with how much he got done during his 12 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. Who was the mayor?
Not a bad guy. Bob Kiss.
Bob Kiss.
Bob Kiss. Never mind. I'm so sorry, Bob.
Kiss.
I did not mean to mess up your name like that. If I ever see you, which is probably going to be no, but if if you're ever in town, I'll apologize, and I'll take you out to dinner. How about that? We'll get a nice thing at Lunig's, half and half. Not like a. I don't make that kind of money, but like a medium
mayor
thing.
from 2006 to 2012.
Like 2000. Oh yeah, that's right. So we should definitely five something.
Here.
Well, that's obvious.
Call-in show, and guest.
Okay, is this relevant? Is this relevant? Do we? I don't know, man. I feel like we should be watching. I mean, this is pretty cool.
We have him talking to the fire chief of Burlington back in 2010.
Oh, wait. I thought they were, like, cooking.
No.
Wait, I'm so stupid. I thought, when I heard chief, I was like, yo, wait, what is he cooking? What is he doing? I was like, Chef Mike O'Neill, bro. What is he making? So, what does this guy have to tell us?
We're now going to look at a video. This is from 2010, Burlington Mayor's Show. Host Mayor Bob Kiss and Fire Chief Mike O'Neill.
What do you have to say? It's great. We were 3 at the time. Well, actually, you were 2, probably.
Welcome to Live at 525. This is the Mayor's Show, and I'm Bob Kiss, the mayor of the city of Burlington. With me tonight is Mike O'Neill, the fire chief of the city of Burlington. Mike, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good to see
Glad
you.
to be here.
Thank you, Mayor.
And tonight's show will focus on the Burlington Fire Department and, in some respects, on the work in particular that Mike does as the chief of the Burlington Fire Department. So, Mike, I wanted to start tonight's program talking just about the Burlington Fire Department and some of the areas I talked about for sort of to give people a sense is the number of firefighters, vacancies, hiring, training, staff configuration, just a sense of that.
Certainly, Mayor. Well, we are currently staffed, authorized strength of 79 firefighters. We have 1 administrative staff person. And currently we have 1 vacancy due to retirement, and we are in process of conducting a new test at the 18th of next month, and we will be the first ever statewide firefighter entry test for the entire state of Vermont. Anybody looking for a career as a firefighter can take this one test. Currently, as it exists today, firefighters wanting to get a career in any department in the state has to take each individual city's or town's entrance exam to be a career firefighter. This is the first time we're going to offer that one-stop shopping for all firefighters to go to one spot. So that's ongoing, and it takes about a year for us to fully train a firefighter from their basic recruit academy through their on-the-job training that goes on a daily basis. So it's a pretty rigorous process, and it's a pretty rigorous entrance exam, interview process, and finally getting through the training process. So that's what we're looking at right now. Of course, we have 5 fire stations in the city. We have 20 firefighters minimum staffing per shift to respond to any of the city's emergencies. And we're not just about fighting fires. Our firefighters are all cross-trained to be emergency medical technicians as well. And so we respond to over 6,500 calls for service a year between fire calls, EMS calls, hazardous materials calls, motor vehicle accidents, and the like.
So, Mike, just in terms of firefighters being hired, how many people do you apply for vacancies, or in the past, and then how many people do you interview that
Sure.
process?
Typically, we have anywhere from 300 to 400 applications. Our rigorous process, the first part is a physical ability challenge for candidates, and we end up usually interviewing anywhere from 15 to 25 qualified applicants to make a list. And we're on a 2-year cycle, so we do it every 2 years. We come up with a hiring list so that when we do have a vacancy, we don't have to go out and do a testing process. We try to keep a fresh list, and it also is good to ensure that we can get the best candidates for the positions.
That's great. So we're talking a little bit about how we get people.
Seems
and
pretty
then we
responsible.
hire them. What about the 79 firefighters that we've hired? What is their longevity? Are they recruited, and do they stay? What's that sort of assessment?
Our experience is that for the most part,
I wonder if there's anything that he's
city,
doing specifically to like impact
their,
this. You know, he's
their
talking with
retirement
him,
age.
and the
We are not
and
experiencing any,
you know, Fire Chief Mike
staffing
is doing a
shortages
lot.
due to
He's doing a
people
lot of
leaving.
work. You know, he's doing a lot of good work.
Very rarely do we get someone who leaves.
The fire chief, but I don't know.
Between
If,
20
I mean,
and
this is an
25
interview,
years.
so
Most
it's
of
like,
our folks,
I wonder what he
if they
did for
survive
them.
the first 5 years, they're in it for a 25-year career. So we have a very good cross-section of firefighters, and I would say that we probably average maybe 5 or 6 separations a year, maybe due to retirement or anything else.
Mm-hmm. And how many women on the fire?
We have one female at this point in time. She is actually a lieutenant.
Of course, it's
at
2010.
Station 5.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like,
we are
wow,
actively recruiting,
interesting
all the
demographics
time,
they got there.
And as I understand
One
it, we're the only
whole
all
person,
professional
one whole
force
woman
in the state of Vermont.
We
on
are
a team.
outside of the Air Guard Fire Department. We're the only fully career fire department in the state.
career.
That's correct.
So many of the other departments have some professionals, some career officers, but they mix that with volunteers.
He does seem
We're all
well-spoken, though.
volunteers.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, chill guy.
And I
Wait a
should ask
minute.
about
Oh,
the annual
wait a
budget.
minute.
Yeah, annual budget
mind's
is
messed up.
is right around $6.2 million, inclusive of operating salaries and equipment maintenance and maintenance of 5 fire stations.
Okay. And I note, I just have some notes here. Of course, we are in union negotiations with all of the city's unions, but that's true with the firefighters as well.
Absolutely. We've been in contract negotiations for some time.
Okay, cool.
And I know a big part of the fire department is the people. Probably the next most crucial element is the equipment. So what is your state of affairs, and what are you looking forward to in terms of equipment for the fire department?
Well, right now.
Yeah, well, that's almost a 30-minute interview, so we're not going to be able to watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
but
that's
I think it's great that Mayor Bob Kiss was bringing on, the fire chief, obviously a very important figure in the Burlington City community.
Very important figure.
And to inform people about what's going on with the fire department, they might not know about it. And often I think people take it for granted. But this is
Yeah.
a fire department and is really one of the most important public services in any city.
Yes, and it's good that he spends time with him, learning. I mean, obviously he probably already knows a lot about him, but just knowing a lot about, I think, yep. And he's still alive. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. That's what I'm saying. I thought I was looking up on my phone earlier, but I was just afraid that I would, I was just afraid that he wasn't around anymore, but he is, and he's still cooking it to this day. We don't know a lot about what he did personally, but we do know he has a wife named Jackie. That's cool. But actually, wait.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he was a progressive mayor,
Which is cool.
and there weren't too many. After Peter Clavell, it looks like he was the second progressive mayor of Burlington.
Yeah, because a lot of them, Peter Clavell, yeah. But, I mean, Bernie was independent, but outside of that, it's
Yeah.
just been progressive, then the one Republican, and then progressive, Democratic, progressive. Because I think at the end of the day, this represents what our state is. Our state is very
Yeah.
progressive in comparison to a lot of others.
Yeah, definitely very progressive, but also very
Yeah.
diverse. I mean, we had Republican mayor, independent mayor, Democratic mayor, progressive mayor. I don't think there are many cities where you're going to
I was
find
about to say.
mayors from 4 different political affiliations within a
Exactly.
span of like 40 years.
Let alone progressive, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I feel like a lot of places, because I feel like there's diversity in Vermont as well. In Vermont, there are a lot of, very, some would say, Democrats, out there who are very progressive and try to push for new things and try to get change and all these different things done. And there's also there is a certain portion of Vermont that is, conservatives though. Like I think there is a certain portion that,
But in terms of,
feels like
politicians, mayors who are actually members of a progressive party, I think Vermont is very unique.
Yeah,
in that.
we've been, led by progressive, by like progressive, parties and all that. And I think that's cool. I think that's interesting. Especially if it helps with climate change.
Well, I don't think, unfortunately, we're not going to have time to get to
Peter Clavell
today, who was mayor from 1995 to 2006.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy, and also his tenure from 1989 to 1993.
So he was mayor for
so
combined 17 years
like,
or something.
Bro, holy hell! Like that
Long
guy must be
tenure.
stressing.
Long tenure. So,
maybe in a
if we
part
have
2.
Time, in a part 2 we can come back and continue looking through the archives.
Please come back and
this was
watch
a great
more.
Look at the past mayors of Burlington, Vermont, and the current mayor.
Thank you. All right,
Thanks for watching.
I've been Josiah and
Ari.
and thank you. Goodbye now.